Okay, everybody, we're about to do something pretty cool right here. We're going to talk about something called a lookup table in Excel. Now, looking up values in a table is something very common. People have to do it all the time. You have to look through a phone book. You got to reference things all the time. And what would be nice is if we can get our software to do it automatically. And in Excel, they got a real nice feature for that. For example here, let's take this scenario where these are some items that are being purchased. These are their prices and the state in which they were bought. Some jet setters going around the world buying this stuff. And he wants to calculate the tax rates based on which state the item was bought in. Okay? So, it turns out if we go to this sheet over here, state rates, we have all the tax rates for the states. I'm not sure if they're current. I'm not even sure if they're accurate. But here, let's pretend these are all the current tax rates for these states. Now, that first item was for Hawaii. So I got to slide down here and find Hawaii. It's 4%. Okay? Now, if I didn't know what I was doing, I'd come back in here and type 4% here. Okay, or I might reference that cell from over here. Like I'd go over here. I don't want you to do this. This is dumb. You'd select this and hit return, and poof, you got your 4% over there. Do not do that. You'd have to do each one of these manually. Okay, make the software do it. You can make it do it by using what's called a VLOOKUP function. Now the reason it's called a VLOOKUP, it's because it's a vertical lookup. That is, the data is arranged in columns. Okay, if you had the data arranged along the rows, the states were AKAL across this way, then you'd use an HLOOKUP function. There's two of them, VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. But because of the way people's brains work, we usually like to see these in columns. Vertical lookup, VLOOKUP, is a much more common function. Okay, what's the syntax? VLOOKUP. The first argument is the value you're looking for. The second argument is the range in which we expect that value to be. All right? And when the VLOOKUP looks through this table, it's going to be looking through the first column in the range. Okay? So if we go back to this state rates, here we have the initials to the states over here. All right, and that's good because if we're doing the VLOOKUP, the first column in the range that we specify has to be this one, because that is, it's going to be always looking along the first column of the range that you specify. And then this last argument says column num. Well, how many columns are in this lookup table? Well, there's going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now, what it's saying is it's going to look along this first column for a matching value. In this case, in this example, we're looking for Hawaii in the first example. It will return, we want it to return the 4%. Where is the 4%? It's in the fourth column of this lookup table. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So our lookup would look like this. However, before I type that function in, let me point out a couple things to you here. If you want to make this a lot easier on yourself, the first thing you should remember, and everyone forgets this on the assignment, is that the vertical lookup table must be sorted along the first column. Okay, is this sorted along the first column? Well, I don't know. HIJKLMNOPQRSC. I think it might be. All right. But just in case it's not, I'm going to sort it now. So I'm going to go to Data, Sort, and I'm going to sort by column A, order from A to Z. Increasing order. Has to be in increasing order. All right. If this table were not in order, I'm sure you realize it may be hard to determine that looking through all these things. Okay. Having a sorting function in Excel is also very nice. Okay. Now we're ready to go. Actually, we're not. Let me talk about the second thing. The second thing you need to worry about with this table is, well, you don't need to worry about it, but if you want to make this a lot easier, select all these cells in the table. And in Excel, you actually have the ability to give this range that you've selected a name. And you do that by selecting it. Give it a name, any name you want. I'll call it state rates. Poof. All right. So from this point on, this thing has a name. There, I can bring this down, and there it's there, called state rates. Alrighty. Now that I have that range named, I can use this in the function. The tax rate. This is where I got to use the lookup. Equals VLOOKUP. Oh, okay. See, I already guessed what I wanted. The lookup value. What are we looking for? We're looking for this. The value to the left over here. I'm looking for the state abbreviation in the first column of this lookup table. Then the table array. All right. What did we call it? What did we call that name? We called it state rates. There it is. See, even the names of these ranges will pop up if you start typing them out. Put that there. Then the column index number. Well, remember the state abbreviation was in column 1. The actual tax rate is in column 4. So that's what we typed there. 4. All right. So how this is going to work is, there you go, 4%. How this is going to work is, it's going to search for the value of C2, which is HI, in the first column of this named range. So it's going to fly through this. It's going to search through this until it finds HI. If it finds HI, this is the value it returns. The value in column 4, which is 4%. And that's how it works. Now, notice that C2 is a relative reference. So, whoopsie, I should be able to just drag this down and get the proper tax rates for each one of these states. Kansas, 5.3%. Is that right? Well, let's just check it to make sure. Sure enough, there we go. Yeehaw! Kansas's tax rate. Now, ain't that a lot handier than trying to do these lookups on your own, going from page to page and referencing those cells? Of course it is. All right. Another thing we have to do, we have to compute the tax, the actual tax on this price. That's not a big deal. That's going to be this cell times that cell. That tax rate times the price. So 4% of 15,000 apparently is 600 bucks. Yank all these puppies down. There you go. And notice that in Oregon and Alaska, there's no state tax. I think that's still true in Alaska. I'm not sure about Oregon though. All right. The total then would be the price plus the tax, which was evaluated here based on that tax rate we used in the VLOOKUP. And poof, total price with tax. There we go. All right. Now I ask you, is this groovy or not? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, you should be ready now. E6 is waiting for you. Good luck, folks. And if you have any questions, let your friendly instructor know.